100% American made. And darn proud of it. The Charlie Kirk Show.
It's time to get your tickets for AmericaFest, everybody. You don't want to miss it. Watch this AmericaFest promo. Watch this.
AmericaFest is the starting point for us to take America to greater heights in 2025. We have a team that is ready to change the world and bring America back to greatness.
Experience the greatest celebration of America. 4 days, thousands of patriots, the loudest voices, the strongest leaders, featuring Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Jesse Waters, Greg Gutfeld, Grant Cardone, Rob Schneider, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Glenn Beck, Riley Gaines, Todd Chrisley, Savannah Chrisley, and more. December 18th to 21st in Phoenix, Arizona. The movement meets here. You won't want to miss this. Register now at amfest.com.
That's amfest.com, amfest.com, and get your tickets. I'll see you next week in Colorado. You guys know how it works. Open mic. We're going to be here for a couple hours, so get comfortable. So you would get rid of all borders.
Yes.
What species is the baby in the womb?
It's a human. But
therefore, they should have human rights.
No.
He's a liar. You're a typical leftist because you only care about yourself, not about the other people. It's very clear by how you're acting. What can I do to save the country? You answer that question every single day. You are doing something that is bigger than you.
A lot of people. How are we doing?
I'm on the move like a runaway. No turning back up and cut the pace. I do not care what the others say. Listen, I told you that I did not come to play. We about to take it to higher heights. History's waiting when I arrive. Today is the dawn of a new, and I'm about to show them that they cannot hold me down. When you won't win, then you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours, so what will you choose? If you give it your all, you got nothing to lose.
Now I want to tell you guys about my partners at My Patriot Supply. It's mypatriotsupply.com. September is National Preparedness Month, so it's the perfect time to ask yourself questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you like to get clean water how would you get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if a storm knocked out the power for a week? If you're anything like me, there's some room for improvement on this stuff. Luckily, our friends at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Kirk. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit and includes a full year of emergency food water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, a solar backup generator, and a lot more. Head to mypatriotsupply.com/KIRK for full details. That's mypatriotsupply.com/Kirk. Portions of the Charlie Kirk Show are sponsored in part by My Patriot Supply.
And every time its leaders have effectively ignored those that clearly expressed will. And I think 2016 was a moment where suddenly it looked as if we might have the opportunity to finally regain control of our laws and regain control of our borders at the same time. What actually happened? In the last 5 years, one in 27 people in Britain have arrived in the last 5 years. 1 in 60 arrived in the last 18 months. In the first 25 years of this century, gross immigration, we're talking 12 to 15 million people. That's roughly 4 to 5 times as many people who arrived on our shores in the first 1,000 years of our history. It's difficult to overstate, and I know you've had enormous influxes too under the Biden administration, but you've got a much bigger territory, and you've got different kind of categories of migrants coming in, and you've at last got an administration that's willing to do something about it. But
praise God for that.
And indeed, and that has had a profoundly kind of traumatic shock on us Brits, and it's had a kind of tectonic effect on the landscape of British politics. So what's happening in British politics? Well, quick update. Last year, July 2024, we saw the Loveless Landslide. So we see the Starmer government getting an astonishing 175 odd seats of majority in Parliament, which is an enormous majority, and one of the biggest in living memory, on only 20% of the vote, 20% of the people eligible to vote, something like 34% of the vote share. It was, the sofa won. I mean, the couch won that election. It was a very low turnout. It was an apathetic election. Nobody seemed to care. Fast forward now, we're just over a year in. Back in the 1st of May of this year, we had the local elections, which are a pretty good proxy. It's a bit like the midterms, and not a bad proxy for what the country's mood is. And I think Labour goes from 34% to 20%. The Conservative Party goes down to 15%, extinction level, almost an unprecedented low. And for the first time in 100 years, a new party emerges, a third party, to rival the duopoly that's had Britain in its grip since 1923, and that is Nigel Farage's Reform UK, which surged through to win 677 local seats, which, if you extrapolate that out, is 30% of the electorate. That's they were at 14% a year ago, and that's going up and up and up. And what you're seeing for the first time in the history of British politics, since there have been political parties, let's say the Tories are emerging in like the 1670s, 1680s, and really kind of bedding down in their modern form in the 1830s. For the first time in the history of British politics, there is another right-wing party emerging, another Conservative party that is, it looks as if, in my view, we'll have to see what happens next May. With some more proxy elections. Then there'll be a general election in 2029, the last point that Keir Starmer can call it. But my sense is that Nigel Farage is on track to be the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
That deserves some applause. So let's examine that deeper and more thoroughly. Some people in the audience will hear, wait, hold on. The Conservative Party, don't we like them? Explain what it means to be part of the Conservative Party. That's not exactly, let's say the equivalent that we would have here in the United States of what we consider to be a conservative.
Yes, that's right. I mean, but even here, I suppose, in the States, there are lots and lots of fascinating debates within the GOP, within the Republican Party, as to what is it to be a conservative? Is it to be a Reaganite? Is it to be a fusionist? Is it to be a Trumpist? Is it to be a kind of compassionate Bushite conservative? Whatever it might be.
Okay, I'll recap my Utah Valley tour stop for you tomorrow. Make sure you guys watch. God bless. Talk to you then.